Alright everyone, a new image for the original Spinosaurus in Jurassic World Rebirth released, and we now know that the button on the back of the Mattel Spino will sway its head side to side, so that's really interesting. Of course, all the original designs are going to look very different, but it is cool to see nonetheless. It looks almost more like the JP3 Spino, so it makes sense the Lego Spino is kind of built like that now. It looks kind of taller, a bit thinner. But yeah, I guess that was the original Spino. And we know there's going to be 3 Spinos. So will we get 3 different designs? We already know the first Spino, which is the brown one with yellow stripes. That's definitely getting toys. But then there's the second Spino, which is the more yellow one with brown stripes, you could almost say. That's appeared in a merch pick, but maybe we might get a toy eventually for it. And then there's Spino 3, which has got nothing, which is yellow lines going across it instead of down it. Maybe we can get them all as minis. I don't see them all as toys. Maybe a Hammond collection in future eventually. But then there's also a new Mosasaurus concept image, the original Mosasaurus. It doesn't look too different, except instead of being more green, it's more of a browny tan color. So I'm really glad they changed that up to green to make it more saturated, because the brown just, it dulls it out too much. There's too many brown things in this movie. You know, you got T-Rex, you got Spinosaurus. So I'm kind of glad it's changed up a bit. We already know the feature of this one. Apparently it's meant to come with a mini Dilophosaurus, like it actually says that on a bunch of descriptions. We know it's in the promo images, but Super Colossals get those all the time. But now it's actually kind of confirmed. There's a Dilophosaurus that comes with a disc. You put it in the Mosasaurus's mouth and it shoots it out. I think you press the button on the tail. But yeah, it's interesting to see. We now know definitely the features of these dinosaurs. Spino, you press the button on the back, sways its head side from side, and then you press the Mosa and shoots the Dilophosaurus. But then on the same website, we also had interactive Aquilops confirmed once again. We already knew the interactive Aquilops was coming, so I think what we're guessing this is so far is like a big Aquilops. And it's going to be like that beta puppet that came out in Dominion. And there was also a Rexy baby puppet. So you put it on your hand, basically, and it would do all the roars and stuff. It was pretty big. So I think it would be like a life-size Aquilops almost, which would be really cool to see. But, you know, we still need that Mattel Aquilops. I think we're getting that in the Tame and Train building set. Apparently I think it's going to be like that Pyroraptor pack where you get a whole building basically, and then there's a tiny Aquilops in it, although it would be a really small dino, so I feel like it still needs to come in a human pack. We'll have to wait and see though. But now I'd like to talk about Titanosaurus hybrids. These are not confirmed because they are in a data mine, so they could change, but they should be coming to Jurassic World alive. The first one is called Titanotaur. So I do believe, you know, there's a couple of hybrids. I think this one's going to be legendary, so it almost confirms Titanosaurus is going to be epic in this game. But Titanotaur, why do we think that? It's because it seems like Otaur is a fusion from Scaphatator, which is an epic hybrid, so, you know. But it's interesting they picked Scaphatator because it is made from Irritator, Diplocaulus, and Scaphognathus. So if you think about it, Irritator is land, right? Diplocaulus is sea, and Scaphognathus is air. So it's funny they put a land-air sea hybrid with Titanosaurus. But yeah, I think this might just be like a red Titanosaurus. It will be interesting to see. And then we do have Titanosaurus hybrid number 2, which is called Titanotar. So I feel like the full name for this might be Titanotarchus, and it might be fused with Carnotaurus, which is like a fusion of Carnotaurus's Perotaurus hybrid and Wuerhosaurus. So yeah, Carnotaurus, it might end up being like a yellow Titanosaurus, and I do assume this will be unique if the previous hybrid is legendary. If it's not Carnotaurus, and we know it's most likely going to be unique, I'm guessing it could either be fused from Tarbognathus, which would be weird because then the whole name would be Titanotarbognattus, and that's just a mouthful nobody wants, so I don't think it will be that. But then you've also got Sinocotaraptor, so it could be Titanotaraptor. Hang on, Titanotararaptor, I think is how you would say it. But I feel like Titanotarchus rolls off the tongue just that extra bit more, you know. And then hybrid number 3, which I assume will be the apex one, Titanosaurus, is gonna have the hybrid Titanotho. So that's probably not the full name, but I assume what's going around, it might be Thorodolosaur. Maybe that's a guess, considering Thor hasn't gone to hybrid in so long. But then that would make it Titanothorodolosaur, which is another mouthful, you know. So maybe it could be shown to Titanothor, and it could be like a green apex Titanosaurus. But then you've got things that fit in more naturally. So like Rajadotholus would make it Titanotholus. But Rajadotholus already has the Rajadorhexis apex hybrid. We don't need another, I think, especially considering it's a pretty new, unique. There's also Parasaurthops, so it could be Titanothops. You know, it would be a bioluminescent Titanosaurus, and I think that could be really cool. So I'd either love to see that or a Thor hybrid. Would be cool. But does this mean we'll get hybrids for the other data mine rebirth species? So we have D-Rex, that's been data mined. Could that get a hybrid? We know they've mixed up things before, like, you know, Scorpius Rex, they've given it bonus hybrids. The Compsognathus Scorpius was originally going to come, it was canned, but we did get Scorpius Rex Gen 3, which, speaking of, I think they confused D-Rex with Scorpius Rex Gen 3. Or it's something else, you know, depending on the rarity. I think D-Rex will be a pretty high up rarity though. Like, they'll want this in the meta. It's a new design. But, you know, they could fuse it with Scorpius Rex Gen 2 or Gen 3 to make it an albino sort of D-Rex. I would really love to see a white D-Rex. Or they could fuse it with one of the Spinos, or maybe even a new Spino if they add that. I assume they will. Spinosaurus aegypticus Gen 2, considering they added Spinosaurus aegypticus way back. And they could add a sail onto the back of it. I just think that would be so awesome. But then we also have MV Aquilo S, which is Aquilops, just like MV D-Rex. MV stands for movie. So what could the Aquilops hybrid be? Well, I think we do know it's going to be like Protoceratops, except they'll scale it down like Coreanosaurus and Beta to make it a smaller Protoceratops rig for Aquilops. And we do know Protoceratops fused with Badgertonodon, and then it fused with Cryptomoloch to make the Lux. So maybe Aquilops, if we're going by that pattern of, you know, adding things to the back of their necks, Amargasaurus is a great contrast from Bajatosaurus. So I feel like Aquilops could fuse with Amargasaurus or one of its hybrids to get that along the neck, and could be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, I would like to see that. Maybe something else could be cool, might work with that. Leave your suggestions in the comments below. Make sure to watch up here also. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later. Bye everyone.